Hey guys, today is engine maintenance day, so I'm going to show you guys how to do the oil change on the Yanmar 30YM30. We're also going to change the fuel filters out as well. This is something you can do on your own. If you've always relied on a mechanic to do this stuff and paid those heavy bills, don't do it anymore. Watch this video. I'll show you exactly how to do it. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, but I'll show you some of the things that I've learned, and we'll make this really easy and fun. So a couple things, let me show you my products I'm using. I'm using all Yanmar original parts. I am located in San Diego, so I use PacWest Marine. They're a great provider of parts, super cheap. So I've got the Yanmar oil filter right here, you'll see, and I think this thing runs, I think I paid like 18 bucks for it, 20 bucks, somewhere around there. Also got the both fuel filters, you'll see right here as well. And we'll replace all those out. And I think these parts right here, they might be like, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks each. Very, very inexpensive. And then obviously I've got the oil I'm using. I like this Shell Rotella, this 15W by 40 oil. Works out really, really well. So here you go. Here's my Yanmar 3YM30. This engine has roughly 560 hours on it. And this boat, the boat is, I guess the engine's about 5-6 years old. And I've put the majority of the hours on this engine in the last 2 years. So we literally go out all the time, going to Catalina Island and so forth. That's a lot of motoring. So a lot of that 560 hours came within the last 2 years. So I have done quite a bit of maintenance on this engine already. But one of the first things we want to do, anytime you're doing an oil change, you want to warm that oil up. So you run your engines, turn your engine on, run it for say 10 minutes or so, turn it off, just let it sit so it's not super hot. And then what you're going to do is, here's your dipstick right here. I'm going to pull this dipstick out. So my dipstick's out. I'm just going to set it to the side. And that's where we'll put in our pump. You know, the pump will actually, the tube will go right down in that dipstick holder, and that's how we'll suck the oil out. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So let me show you this. This is gonna be my oil pump right here. This is what's gonna extract the oil out of the engine. I got this from West Marine. This thing's kind of pricey. I think it's like 80 bucks or so. I bet you they probably have a few knockoffs on Amazon worth checking out. But it's really cool. It comes with these hoses, and actually 2 sets of hoses to fit your dipstick, because this will actually go right in the dipstick hole, and it goes all the way down to the bottom. You just pump this handle a few times, and then what happens, it creates a vacuum seal, and it actually sucks out the oil. So really, really cool stuff. I'm also a fairly organized guy, so when I come down and do the work like this, I like to get everything kind of laid out. So I got my tool bag here, lots of different tools there I might need. Got my wrench set. Love this wrench set too, by the way. It's amazing. Got this on Amazon for like 100 bucks. Got my socket set over there as well. I got a lot of these oil pads, which are fantastic, super cheap from West Marine. And I really like these gloves, these vinyl gloves, these black ones. I use these all the time for any type of this work I'm doing. Maybe like 10, 15 bucks for a whole box of them. So pretty good stuff. So as you can see, this oil pump, it's ready to go. It is in the dipstick. Let me see if I can show you here. It is in the dipstick hole. I pushed it down as far as I can go. Let's see if I can't get down there. I guess that's it. I won't go any further. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump it and see what happens. Hopefully we can get it coming out, and I can show it to you. All right, guys, exciting stuff. Here comes the oil. You can see it coming out slowly. Let me see. There it is. It's in the tube. Come on. There we go. It's starting to come in right now. Fantastic. So I believe this engine takes 2.6 liters of oil. So I'll be curious to see how much we extract out. I mean, hopefully we can get close to that point. I doubt we'll be able to get everything out, but I will do the best that I can. I I guess I'll just let this run for a while, and then we'll check back in here in a few minutes. So one of the things when using this West Marine pump is after you kind of hear all the oil go in, I do like to do a couple more pumps. So I'll do another 5 pumps. So basically you do 5 pumps, and then you push this little release valve for like 5 seconds, and I guess that the pumps create the vacuum or seal, and I guess this does something to start get it sucking. So I'll do that several times after I know the oil's coming, just to make sure that I got as much as I possibly can out of this engine. So I've just done I think my second one. I'm gonna do one more round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push it 1, 2, 3. You can kind of hear it. I'll be real quiet. You can hear it. So it's still sucking a very, 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 very little bit. Now, if you're using this West Marine pump, just be careful. Let me show you. When you're pulling the tube out, like, here's the tube. I don't know if you can see it. But when you're pulling the tube out of the dipstick hole, these things, you know, they're long and they're kind of hard plastic. They can flip up and throw oil everywhere. So just have a handy paper towel. So as soon as you pull that tube out, you can go right to a paper towel with it and then hold it up so it just doesn't drip all over your boat. So just something, a little housekeeping item to think about. All right, so we got all the oil out. Just what I want to do now is I'm going to just get down here. Let me show you. Here's a little dipstick holder. I just want to wipe it, get it clean, get any of that old oil out as much as possible. Just make sure it's nice and clean in that little area. And I'll do the same with the dipstick you see here. I'll get it all nice and cleaned up and put it back in. So just wipe the surfaces and that sort of thing. And then I will move on to the oil filter. Here's the oil filter on the Yanmar 30YM30. You can see it right there. So it should be, from last time I put it on, it's just hand tighten. So we just basically, you should be able to hand tighten it off. Just be careful. That thing does have oil in it. It will spill everywhere. So just make sure you put stuff down. You can see I do kind of have an oil mat down below the engine there. But I'm going to do my best to take this thing off. So let's do it. There we go. There we go. Now I just want to watch the gasket. I believe this thing does have a gasket on it. There we go. Whoa. There we go. There it is. It's dripping some. Well, not much you can do about that. Just do the best you can, getting it all cleaned up. Just gonna show you guys. Let me pick up the camera here. There you go. You can see that's what the filter looks like with it off. Obviously oil's oozing out, but you can see my little mat down there catches the majority of it. So I'll clean it all up nice and good, make it look nice. Then let's see here. Here is the actual oil filter itself. So this is what we'll be replacing. So here's a new oil filter from Yanmar. You can see this little black ring. That's your gasket right there. What I like to do is put just a little line of oil around that, so you just get a really, really good seal. So you just, if you can, make sure you have a little bit of oil floating around, and then you can just do a quick little rub around it like this, and that should give you a nice, good seal. A lot of times they do say, you know, put oil in it if you can when you put it back, but if your oil cartridge is on the side like mine is, obviously the oil is just going to pour everywhere. So I won't be doing that. So you can see it just screws on pretty easily, no big deal here. My hands are really slick with oil right now, but you just want to get a nice little hand tight, not too tight. But just, there. All right, that's on nice and good. Now let me just clean up the mess that's here from that drips. Got really good. And there you go. You got your You got your oil filter cartridge now on and ready to go. You can even, what I like to do, take a black Sharpie and write the date that you put it on and actually the hours that you put it on, so you always know. So just something to think about. All right, now we're moving on to putting the oil in. I'm not sure how much this is going to take actually. Maybe 2.3 liters maybe. I know there's got to be still a little bit of oil left in here from my extraction, but we're going to give it a shot. But a couple things, don't forget, I'm going to clean this up really, really good. So all these little areas in here, just do your housekeeping. Get it nice and clean as much as possible. That even includes your little oil cap as well. Clean that up, wipe it down, make sure it's nice and clean. And then go ahead and make sure you have a nice type of funnel. I've seen a lot better ones than the one I have here, but this is what we're going to, this is what we're going to use for now. And yeah, just go ahead and start pouring it in. So we'll give it a shot. Alright guys, so I put in about 2 liters of oil. One thing, once you're done putting in the oil, what you want to do is start the engine, let the engine run for a little bit immediately. As soon as you're done this oil change, let the engine run immediately, and then we'll turn it off here in probably 5 or 6 minutes, and then we're going to check the dipstick, check the oil, see if we got enough in. If we don't, then we'll add more. So doing that right now. All right, now we are going to change the fuel filters. And very first thing we got to do, not to forget, is to turn off the actual fuel. So I'm gonna go do that right now. Here we are. Let me show you. It's right. Let's see if you can see it. Let me get a light on in here. It's my fuel tank. So you can see, kind of get an idea here what this thing looks like. It looks like it needs some cleaning too. But right here is our switch that we want to flip off. So do that. All right, now the fuel line is off. We just want to make sure we don't forget to turn it back on once we're done with this, but that is off. I'll leave the door open, which will be a reminder to turn it on. So then the next thing we need to do is head over to the filter itself, which is right here. This guy. This is the guy we're going to be changing. And what's nice about it, it's right here at the front. So I remember last time I did have a little hard, I had a kind of a hard time getting it off. I had to use a screwdriver to kind of pop it. And I made sure, I thought this time not to tighten it as much, but we'll see. One thing, guys, to be aware of is this thing is filled with fuel. So when you do take this thing off, be really careful, because fuel will go everywhere. You'll have diesel everywhere. So just be really careful when doing that. Let me see here. One trick you can do, it kind of works, is you can have a bag, like a Ziploc bag like this, and you can, once you get it nice and loose, you can kind of put your Ziploc bag under it. Oh, it's not working very well. Here we go. Put your Ziploc bag under it like that to capture any excess fuel that comes out. Again, it's, you know, sometimes it's easier than other times, but let me go ahead and try to get this thing loosened up right now and get it off so I can show you what it looks like. It was really tight, so I had to use a screwdriver to knock it out. So basically I took my screwdriver, just put it right on one of these little ledges here, if you can see that, and just give it a couple taps, and it will loosen up. So you can see it's nice and loose right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try the Ziploc bag trick. See if I'm successful. I do have another container too here. I'll show you. Just kind of put down so I can quickly get it into something other than a bag. There we go. So you can see I just got it out. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this, guys. Came out perfectly. No diesel everywhere. The last time I did this, man, there was diesel everywhere on the engine. So this is a really cool trick worth doing. Just have one of these Ziploc bags and just push it around it and pull it out. And then I gotta just basically, I'll drop it in here. I'll show you guys. So here's the little cup. You can see, pull that out. This is a little O-ring that keeps it tight. We'll clean up all that stuff. And then here is the actual filter itself. So we'll be replacing this. So here's the brand new one. Just going to show you. This is a cheap part. I can't remember how much I said earlier. Maybe like 10 bucks or so. I'll put the actual price on the screen in the video once I get to editing. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the paper towels at. I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe everything down. Rings. This ring thingy is clean. This bulb is super clean. And I'm gonna go up in here too and just give it a little rub down. As clean as we can. Okay. And so this just pushes right up in there. And then what we do is it kind of goes like this. This pushes up. Make sure you want the right side up so the hole obviously goes up like that. Push it in like that. And then this sits on top like that and just tightens it up. So that's what we're going to do. One thing I will mention here is that with this, they do recommend filling this thing with gas. So I do have a cup. I'll show you. I have a cup of diesel right here. So we will fill this up with gas. We'll attempt to put it up and screw it on without spilling it everywhere. So let's do it. So hopefully you can see that. We're just gonna that's it. That's it. It just kind of hangs there like that. The next step is we're going to fill this with gas. You want to use fresh diesel if you can. I really don't want to put old diesel back in there. That wouldn't be very useful. Oh, let's see if I can shoot. You probably really only need to fill it like halfway full, because keep in mind you do have the filter there, so it's probably going to push gas up out. So just don't forget about that when you put your diesel back in. Oh man, let's see if I can do this without spilling it everywhere. It's going to be hard. I can already tell. Oh, come on. It's the thing with these small with these boats and these engines, man. I got cords, hoses everywhere. There we go, we got it up. All right. Come on, ring. You on there? You are on there. Nice. Okay. Just get yourself a towel. Wipe it up, and you want to get this thing kind of tight. All right, guys, the next filter I am going to replace is in here. This is basically a water separator thing. So we're gonna, I think, I'm going from memory here. I think I have to unscrew this from the bottom that actually lets out excess water. And then I'll pull that filter off, put the new one on, and then we need to bleed the system for air, I believe. There's a little butterfly thing that we prime. And once we do that, I think we can turn the gas back on and start the engine up and make sure we're all good to go there. So let's go ahead and get involved in that. So for this, I do like to put one of these kind of like little bladdery, clothy things for oil and stuff down here. Because once I remove this thing down, I think from my memory, his gas is going to start coming out of this thing too. So. God, this thing looks pretty dirty. Look at it. See how dark it is? Whoa. Man, it looks dirty. Good thing I am replacing it. Woo! So we'll just drop that one to the side. You can see a little bucket here. Pour this old gas. And there's a lot of dirty stuff in there. So I think our plan now is to clean this thing up really, really good. The thing is, I don't see a let's say gasket. I don't know if it's underneath that, on top of this thing. I'm kind of curious about that. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully there's a gasket underneath there. It actually feels like there's a gasket underneath there, which is good. I have a new one I can put on if I need to. So anyway, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get this filter replaced with the new one. All right, so I want to show you. So I got this thing. I actually cleaned it up pretty good. I mean, there's just nothing but fuel in there, and actually looks really. You probably can't even see in there, but maybe you can. It's like a spring. You may have a Raycor in your boat. I'm not sure. But then there's one little tiny rubber ring right here. So just make sure if you do have this one, that this rubber ring is there. If not, just put a new one on. The filter I have for it came with another rubber ring. So this one looks totally fine. So I'm not even gonna bother replacing it. So here we got the new filter here. So both sides look identical. Can't really see if there's a difference in terms of what side goes up and what side goes down. Let's look at this really quick. Yeah, it looks. Put this one down. I don't know. Let's go for it, right? Oh, come on, guy. There you go, that's what it looks like. And this filter kind of just squeezes down in there. And then you can see it does have a little rubber ring right there as well. And my filter did come with one of these, which I believe the one I have is actually stuck under here. So I might try to take a tool and see if I can't get that out really quickly. I'm gonna use one of these little tools. If you don't have these, you should get them. They're on Amazon. They're like little picks. They come in a pack of, I don't even know, it might be 10 in there, but all different sizes, and they're really cool. Almost look like dentist picks. It allows you to get in there and pick stuff out. So, especially stuff that's like these little gaskets. Let's see if I can get it out. Oh, man, come on. There we go. There you go. This is the old one. I'll just take it, discard it, put a new one on. Oh shit. I'll put some gas on this one. There's spilled gas everywhere too. Oh my god. My wife is going to kill me. Oh man. Don't you hate that? You got a cup full of gas and you're doing everything in your power not to spill it. And what do? You spill it. Oh, man. Damn it. Well, I guess good thing it's a boat, right? And we got some diesel in here. So we're just going to push this one back up in. All right, that's in there. Next thing is this. Oh, this is going to be kind of a pain, I think. Let's put gas in it. I think it's just going to leak out though, because it's loose on the bottom. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work very well. Let's see what I can do. I'm going to pour gas in it anyway. Maybe you're not supposed to even put gas in it, and just, or maybe you are when you're putting it back on. I just put a little bit in there. Oh, shit. I'll just try to hold it as I tighten it. See what happens. Yeah, it's not even gonna work. No, it's pointless. Pointless. It's this thing, you want to push it down really good so you can see how it's threaded right there. And then you gotta get it up in there and screw it on. I do remember this being a kind of a pain in the butt to do. Oh, come on, guy. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. All right, so my socket is where? All right, so yeah, it's going right on, just like it should. It's so funny, it's like when you do these things, you really try to be as clean as you can. You set up towels and all that, and buckets and Ziploc bags, and you know what? You always end up spilling something or getting something everywhere, which at least that's the case with me. No matter how prepared I am. When you're screwing this up, just make sure it's fitting up in there nice, that nice snug fit. Feels good. There we go. That's pretty loose right there. I'm gonna have to crank that down too. Okay, there we go. What I need to do now is that we've got this back on. I gotta fill it up with diesel. Right, obviously there's gonna be a lot of air in it, right? So what you do, if you have this one on your boat, basically this screw right here, it's kind of like a bleed screw, I guess. You just open it up. And then what I did is I went back and I turned the gas back there. If you remember from the beginning, I turned the gas, the tank back on. And then I gotta go back to where the little butterfly valve is. Let me show you. As mentioned, there's the gas. Just you can see the little the lever. I turned it back on, so it is on now. And I had to look all over for this thing. I couldn't find it. It's kind of hidden. But this little lever right here, if you can see my finger, I'll try to get in there better. This is the butterfly. So I push this down. It goes down really easy, and it'll push fuel through the hoses. And what do we want to have happen is we're trying to bleed the lines of all air. And where's it at? There's a little screw right where I can't even see it. Right here, my finger is. So once we got the air out, the fuel will start coming out of this. So when fuel comes out of this, and then fuel comes out of the bottom one I just showed you as well, we're good to go. We'll just tighten them all down. So I am gonna pump this, and we're just gonna be looking for fuel coming out. Do that again. There it is. So I'll get the camera on there. And let's do it. This might take a little bit. Well, I'm starting to see fuel come out a little bit. Come on, guy. There. There it is. All right, we got it. So now we got that air out. Come on back. I'm gonna tighten it all up. So you can see air bubbles came out of that one. That's good. This bottom one as well is we need a wrench. Just want to tighten it down a little bit. Oh, should be good on that. Jesus, it's like. Anyway, get the point. I'll have that tightened down, and then we will be good to go. We can start this motor up and get it running. All right, guys, let's do a quick recap of what we did. So we did the oil change on the Yanmar 30YM30. We changed the oil filter as well. Don't forget when you're putting that oil filter on, about the gasket at the top, and also just rubbing a little bit of oil at the top of that so it gets a nice seal when you turn that on. Also, we replaced both filters, fuel filters. So the one was the small, I think maybe it's called the primary fuel filter. We replaced that one. Then we also replaced that secondary one that's part of the water separator. And just a couple things with that as well. Don't forget, you need to bleed the air out of those lines. There's that little butterfly clamp. So pop, 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 pop. Pump that fuel through, get the air out of there, and you'll be all squirted away. And also, the one little trick that I used, the Ziploc bag, putting that Ziploc bag over the smaller filter when you're taking it off, and so you don't spill that diesel all over your engine. I've done that before in the past, so this way actually works this time. So doing that, and then yeah, and both of those, when you do your oil change, again, make sure you start your engine up first, run it for like 10 minutes or so before you pump and extract that oil. Always a good thing to do. That helps you get the most of the oil out of that as you can. And then also make sure you run it. As soon as you're finished that oil change, run your engine. Make sure you get that engine, that oil pumping back through that engine, right? Get it all nice and lubricated up. And then on the fuel filter side, make sure you turn your fuel tank off when you do those filters, then obviously back on. And then again, when you're done that, make sure you run the engine as well, get that fuel pumping back through that engine, and everything good to go there. So if you like this video and you got something from it, please hit the subscribe button, help us grow our channel. If you have any questions whatsoever, just drop me a comment below and I'll be sure to answer it. I do have a cool video coming up. I'm going to do a raw water, the whole pump. I'm going to not just pull out the impeller, but I'm actually replacing the whole pump, and I'll tell you why in the next video. So stay tuned for that one, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.